Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. We are going to be looking at some additional ways to save some money for some of those popular craft items. Little disclaimer before we get started, these prices that I show and talk about are per pricing as of recording this video. So that could always change, just keep that in mind. And here are the video contents. If you want to skip ahead to the area of interest, that is right there on the screen and you can do that. Okay, this segment is going to be about card base options because you want a nice heavyweight cardstock for your bases. So we're going to talk about card bases really quickly. This one won't take long at all. We have three different types of card bases. We have Accent Opaque, which is from Amazon. I picked that up from Amazon. That's 120 pound. Okay, we have the Neenah 110, which you can get from Amazon as well, and you have the Michaels 100 pound. And I got that from Michaels. It doesn't say Michaels on it, but it is from their cardstock line, like where you can get cardstocks. Okay, so the first thing I noticed is the weight of the cards. The cardstock. The 120 is very, very thick, very sturdy. This is a really high quality thickness of paper. It is 120, and I think it's a true 120. Because if I'm comparing it to 110, this 110 paper is very thick as well. And then the 100 you can tell is just a tiny bit thinner, but still very good and very sturdy. I think that I say a true weight because I purchased a 110 pound paper from, it was Neenah, but it was exact something from Amazon. And it was this. And this is extremely thin. So, and this was like 6 something for 250 sheets. So yeah. Now another difference I've noticed is the color. This is a very, very bright white. The Accent Opaque. Neenah is very white, and as well as Michaels. These two match. They're very comparable, but they're tiny bit less bright, if you will. And so that's the only other difference I noticed. All right, so for the price of these, the Accent Opaque is going to be, you get 150 sheets for $18.89. That's for 150. Okay, and if it's prime and you don't pay for shipping, which is kind of nice because this is very heavy, so it's a heavy shipment, you're going to pay 12 cents a sheet. Okay, so that's how much we're going to pay. I think it's important that you break it down by sheet. And you don't get 250, which is kind of nice because maybe you don't want to buy that big of a shipment. So $18.89, 12 cents a sheet. Neenah 110. Neenah is on the much pricier side. So for 250 sheets, you're going to pay $52. Okay, so when we do our math, that's going to bring us to 20 cents a sheet. So you're going to get 20 cents a sheet for this more expensive Neenah. Okay, and then Michaels brand. So we're a little bit of variation here with Michaels brand. So for 100 sheets, I'm going to put 100 sheets, you're going to pay $16. However, the good thing about Michaels is you can use a 40% coupon. And if you use the 40% coupon, that'll bring you to $9.60. And that will bring you at 9 cents a sheet. Okay, but there's that caveat there that you need to have the 40% discount. If you don't have the 40% discount, you're going to pay 16 cents a sheet. Okay, so that's the difference. So if you use a coupon, if you don't use a coupon. So there we can see the price differences in card bases. So I think this is an important thing to figure out as far as what do you need for your card bases. I like the sturdiness. I can honestly count on one hand how many times I've used Neenah 110 for coloring. I use Neenah 80 all the time for Copic color, or not Copic, alcohol marker coloring. So I think all three of these are really good options. I definitely find that the Neenah is a hefty price tag because you can find it in smaller amounts. So there is that. Stores like Simon Says Stamp, I believe, sells the Neenah 110 in smaller amounts. But then you have to look at how much are you using, how much are you buying. And if you're buying that smaller amount for a card base, maybe you want to go with something a little bit more efficient. So that's the card base comparison. Okay, so next we're going to move to glitter cardstock, which there's a couple things about glitter cardstock that are really important to me. One is, does it die cut well? Some glitter cardstocks are really kind of stuck together. I don't know how else to describe it, but they're very difficult to die cut. Another is, does the glitter come off? I can't be about that life. I don't like glitter cardstock that comes off, so that's important to me as well. I think one of the best cut cardstocks I found is Concord and Ninth, but I don't think they have a very wide variety. So I'm going to leave them out, and I'm just going to compare the Darice from Amazon and Lawn Fawn, which you can get from Lawn Fawn and you can get from Amazon as well. So both are, I mean, Lawn Fawn is a very, very good quality glitter cardstock. I've been very pleased with it, hence why I only have a couple sheets left. The Darice comes in a pack of 40 sheets, and you get all of these colors right here. So pretty much the rainbow plus some silver and gold, and I find that to be awesome. So I'm going to open that up in just a second. Now, we're going to take a closer look. All right, I'm going to move the Lawn Fawn out of the way just for a moment, and I'm going to put the Darice in front here. So we have the 8.5 by 11 sheets, and you get 4 sheets of each color. So there's 10 colors. Retails for 40 sheets for $15.99 for the whole pack, and that's going to give you 40 cents a sheet. So 40 cents for one of these sheets. Okay, so first glance, we're going to look at it. Does it come off? It does not. It does not come off. So very good quality. And I'm just going to lay out the colors so you can see it, because obviously for cost savings, this is going to be the one I would opt for. And I'll show you why. We're going to go through just a quick tutorial of die cutting. So you have this beautiful orange. Listen, I got to keep it in rainbow order. Let's be honest. We have this, which is like a yellowish gold, but more gold than anything. So that's very pretty. This green color, very nice. That's a beautiful green. I can see the holidays. Beautiful. Light blue, like a aqua blue. This one is a bright blue, almost like a sapphire. You have the purple. The pink, which is just amazing. And then I think my most used is the gold and the silver. So this one's the silver, obviously, and we have the gold. So you can kind of see the difference between these two golds, and you kind of have two options here. This is more kind of orangey, yellowish, I guess. Well, this one looks almost yellowy. Anyway, so those are the colors. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to die cut a very intricate die. And we're going to die cut a, this is a butterfly die, pretty intricate. And we're going to die cut that in this color. And then we're going to die cut it in the Darice, which I cut down myself. We're going to cut that out of that color. So let me get this out of the way. So we have this Lawn Fawn right here, and we have the Darice. I'm trying to feel it. It feels very, very similar. The backing looks very similar. So, yes. Okay, so I ran through, this one is the Darice. So I'm just going to pop this out, and we'll mess with that in a minute once I get them all together. Just poke that out. Okay, so I got that through. I'm using the Gemini Junior, which of course that's going to make a difference based on your sandwich and how good your die cutting machine is. I have, with the sandwich plates and things, I have no problems with the Gemini. But I always have to remember, die facing up, because I have ruined already. Let me look. Yep, I have ruined, not ruined, but I have put impressions in my magnetic plate because it's all backwards from what my other die cutting machine was doing. Okay, so now we have this one. If you hear little people in the background, it's because my kids are here. Okay, so now we have both of them. As you can see, a few more pieces fell out of the Lawn Fawn one than did the Darice, but we're going to see how easy it is to get those pieces. Okay. So as you can see with the Lawn Fawn, they are falling out
extremely easily, like just popping right out of the pieces, which I think is incredible because I've had some issues in the past with glitter cardstock, but this stuff really does cut nicely. Plus, it's the machine. I mean, the machine's cutting it really well. So there's a couple combination of things. So we have that, and then let's see how easy it comes out of the Darice. So one thing I'm noticing as I'm popping this out is there's not anything that's actually sticking. Do you ever get those pieces with your die cuts that are, you kind of have to pull them apart? Well, this isn't doing that. If anything, if they're stuck and I can't get them with my fingers, then I could just take my pokey tool and we can poke them out. But I don't know that I necessarily have to do that. Okay. So as you can see, there's really not that much of a difference between the two of them. I think if I'm splitting hairs, that stuff may fall out of the Lawn Fawn cardstock just a little bit faster. But really, when we're talking about, you know, the differences, it's not that much. So here again, we have Darice and we have Lawn Fawn, and then let's take a look at the cost comparison. So Lawn Fawn, on their site, it's $8 for 5 sheets, which would be $1.60, but you have to take into account shipping. That doesn't account for shipping. So that's $1.60 per sheet. Amazon for Lawn Fawn is $11.99 for 5 sheets, and that's going to be basically $2.40 a sheet if you have Prime with no shipping costs. So there's a couple things you have to take into account. So we're looking at either $1.60 or $2.50 per 8.5 by 11. The Darice is 40 sheets for $15.99. That gives you 40 cents a sheet. So high end $2.40 a sheet, low end 40 cents a sheet. So that's what we're comparing right there. I think this is totally worth it. I would highly recommend this glitter cardstock. I am very picky with my glitter cardstock and I'm happy with this. I think it die cuts really nicely. So that's my take on glitter cardstock. So talking about envelopes. So, you know, when you send your card, I feel like for me, and a lot of people are probably going to disagree with this, but I feel like envelopes, I shouldn't be spending a lot of money on that. Why? Because people rip them open and throw them away. However, there is a school of thought that says you're going to send this handmade card, you want it to be enveloped, if you will, in a very sturdy envelope. And so that's going to be solely on you to decide what you want to do. I know there's a lot of high quality envelopes out there, but for me, I want to save money on them. So I buy mine by the 1,000 pack. And if you don't have space in your craft room for that, I completely understand that. But I buy them by the 1,000 pack because it's a really good cost savings, and this is the quality of the envelope that you get. Okay, actually, this is the envelope right here. So this is the one that comes in the 1,000. All right, it is not a peel and stick. It is one of those that you would have to lick. I don't lick, but if you want to wet it with a damp cloth, that's fine. And then I always put some washi tape on it. So 1,000 of these. And then to add a little bit of flair to my envelopes, I picked up these inexpensive colored envelopes here. And so you get a multi-pack of colors. And again, they're on the thinner side, but I feel like they'll get the job done. And if I want to protect my card, sometimes I'll take I have a pack of cheaper cardstock. Okay, so I'll take the card and I'll place this in front of it just to protect it, if that's the case, with some cheap cardstock. So there's that, or I just send it through the mail and I send a prayer up. Okay, so that's my tip on just some inexpensive envelopes, and then if you want to add a little bit of color to your life, the colored ones. Okay, I have here some options for Yupo paper. I posted a video real quick about Dollar Tree poster board and realizing that not everybody has a Dollar Tree around them, so went out to Amazon and found some comparable stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to be testing here is alcohol Yupo paper, and this is from Ranger. Then I have this Yupo paper, which is from Legion, and they feel virtually the same. This is a little bit thicker because I think I got the lighter weight here. This is Yupo medium. And then I have from School Smart white poster board on Amazon. This is 11 by 14 inches, and you get 25 sheets in this pack. So on this poster board, like if you don't know, Yupo paper is plastic So it's very, like, you can't tear it. And then, I mean, I'm sure you could if I really tried at it, but it's glossy, but it's synthetic. So it's not really like paper. And this has like a cardstock finish on the back, but then on the front, it has the smooth surface. And so I can hit with the light, you can see it there. So that's the difference there. So I'm going to try to keep everything in its place where it is so that we know. Now, with this alcohol adventure here, which we're going to do this comparison, we have, okay, I actually decided to write on them for my own sanity. So I also have, in an effort to try to see where we can cut a little bit of cost here and there and still get to have as much fun, we are going to be trying out some alcohol blending solution, which is this, from this paintbrush. And then we're going to be trying out some Swan 99% isopropyl alcohol, which is in this brush. Okay, so I have it marked 99%. Also, we're going to be looking at some different alcohol brands. I only could find really two. So we have the Pinata brand and we have the Ranger brand. Okay, so I have 3 Ranger colors in the regular ink because I have 9 of the Pinatas. So before we start putting the Pinatas out onto the paper, let's take a look. I'm a mess when I craft, so they're dirty. But we have these 9 colors here. And what I love about the Pinata set is it comes with a gold, so like a mixative. You can hear the thing in there. So I have to mix that up really well. So it comes with a gold and a white, which I think is really useful. Okay, and so we have, these are the colors we have. We have Sunbright Yellow, Mantilla Black, Passion Purple, Calabasa Orange, Rainforest Green, Senorita Magenta, Baja Blue, Rich Gold, and Blanco. So those are the 9 colors that you get with the Pinata.
So here's a quick pause and a cost comparison between Pinata, Ranger, and Ranger Pearl. Obviously, Pinatas are going to be your cheapest, and I don't believe the colors are as wide a variety as the Ranger inks. I'm a huge fan of the Ranger Pearl, but they are a little bit pricier. If you have no alcohol inks and you're wanting to get into it, I do like the Pinata inks for a rainbow of colors, and it won't set you back too much money.
Now, like I said, I only have 3 regular Ranger alcohol inks, and we have Amethyst, Patina, and Flamingo. So I have those 3, but then I have the full set of pearls. So I do have all the pearls, the complete set. Okay, so we are going to be trying to compare. You know, I like to be as fair as possible, so we're going to do the let's do the 99% up in this area, and we'll do the blending solution, ABS, not to be confused with a 6-pack. Let's do a green. They're not going to be exact, so that's unfortunate. So I do apologize for that, but they're alcohol, and I believe the alcohol inks, to me, they're all the same. Like, you're still going to get, let me show you. So you can see them in action, but here we have the same colors that I used from the Pinatas. These are all Pinatas, but I used the 99% over here, and I used alcohol blending solution over here. This one was all 99% used with Pinata inks and a little bit of pearls. My daughter dropped a little bit of pearls in there too, so she made that one. All right, so we're just going to do the best we can. Okay, I'm not in a lab. This is not a perfect science. So be it. So let's start with alcohol amethyst. We're just going to drop a few. This is the poster board brand. And I'm going to put a couple drops down here. I'm going to try to be as similar as I can. So I'm noticing that the alcohol is moving quickly on the Ranger Yupo and the poster board, but not really doing much on the Legion. Okay, so let's do, like, there's nothing happening here in the center. What is going on?
I decided to leave this part in there because wondering if any of you have seen this issue and maybe you have some advice, but all the other tutorials I was doing on my own, everything was working beautifully. So I'm not quite sure what happened here, but yeah, I just left it in.
Why is this not working? I think it's the alcohol inks. Quite honestly, I think it's these 3 alcohol inks. I am not a fan. This is like needs to go in my archives of hot mess situation. This is terrible. All right, I'm not happy with those. Let's try to use the pinata inks. So we have our 3 pages out again, and we're going to try to use the pinata inks. Okay, so we'll choose, let's do the same colors that Adia chose. Starting off on our Amazon poster board, we'll put 3 drops there. Oh, it's moving a lot better on that Legion now than it was. It must have been my Ranger. Can Ranger inks go bad? Anybody know? I think it was just the inks. All right, so now they're all comparably moving.
So I'm going to go back to the voiceover and I'm going to speed this up for you because I feel like this is literally watching paint dry. So we're just going to move through it. This alcohol ink portion of the video is probably the lengthiest. So I want to make sure that it's not too much. And so that's why I chose to speed up some of these areas. So I'm dropping the ink on, putting my alcohol blending solution on, and then going in with my head all kinds of in the way. And I'm using the straw blow technique. And I believe that that just breaks it up a lot and mixes those colors and gives a fun effect. And so I do that on all 3 of the panels, but I use the blowing technique right after putting it down.
This is the poster board from Amazon, the Legion Yupo, and the Ranger Yupo. So far, very comparable results. There might be a little bit more pooling in here. Again, that could be my factor and not necessarily, I don't know what it is, but we're going to do it again. And this time we're going to do it with some alcohol blending solution. And then of course, alcohol pearls, we'll have some fun with that in a minute because we can't not.
At this point in the video, I'm using the 99% isopropyl alcohol on the top and the alcohol blending solution on the bottom, trying to find out if there's any difference between the 2. I'm using the same techniques, just different colors. So I don't think that that really matters. I think if it's going to move the alcohol inks, it's going to move it regardless. So putting the alcohol inks down and using the straw again. So adding a little bit more blue to the right hand one and just moving that around till I'm happy with it.
So there we have that. Got ink all over my fingers. So now we have our pinata colors, which I think are beautiful. And we have both sides pinata, poster board, Legion Yupo, Ranger Yupo, 99% isopropyl, and blending solution. I cannot tell the difference between the 99% isopropyl and the blending solution. I know people suggested that you can use that, but now that I've seen it in action, I cannot tell that there's a difference between the 2 and what they do, honestly. So that's me on that one. All right, let's come back and play with pearls. Since I don't really see a difference in the 99% alcohol solution, and I've played with this before, so I showed you on screen, but I also just don't see a difference. So I'm just going to go and use the 99% on these 3 panels. This way I don't have to try to separate them out between the alcohol blending solution and the 99%. It just makes my life easier, and if it sounds like I'm out of breath, I am. I was just shaking up all those pearl inks. Woo! Good gracious. That's a workout. See, I am being physical when I'm doing crafting. Yay! Let's play with some pearl ink.
Okay, as you heard me say before, I really didn't see a difference between the alcohol blending solution and the 99%. So thank you to all of the people who commented on the video and told me to use that, because you are a money saver. So I really appreciate that. Let's talk about, while I'm doing this ink purling, how much of a savings it really is. So when we look at blending solution, we're talking about $7.69 for 2-ounce bottle. And that's going to be $3.85 an ounce versus the 99%. I got 2 16-ounce bottles at $9.63, which brings it to 30 cents an ounce. So that is a huge difference in price because you can go through this stuff really quickly.
It's textured look because of the gold, whereas if you watch Tim Holtz's presentation, it was the pearl inks are not textured. They're just glistening and they look like they should be, but they're not. They're flat. And so, except for like the pools of stuff you're going to get, which people have taken foil and put that down and picked it up. So this one we kind of left alone to do its own thing while it dries. So, okay, I think that we have at this point, a fair comparison of our paper. The first one we did, I feel like was just not a good situation. See, like, I don't know what was happening, and I think it's the alcohol inks might be old or something's wrong with it because this is the paper. And it works so differently with the Pinata inks and the Pearl from Ranger. So, I don't know what happened, but not good. But if we bring back in as a reminder these I think came out beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to put up on the screen the pricing of these. And so you can have an idea of why we care to try out different stuff. We have the Ranger 5x7. They come in 5x7 sheets. And from Amazon, I found them for $11.41 a 10-pack, which is $1.14 a sheet. The Legion from Amazon, this is the Yupo medium, $9.56 for a 10-pack. That's 95 cents a sheet. And then the Amazon poster board is School Smart poster board. A pack of 25 of the big sheets cut down into 5x7s, you'll get 100. So you'll get 100 of these 5x7s for $9.57. So that's 10 cents a sheet. So it's quite a drastic difference between 10 cents a sheet and $1.14 a sheet, which allots you a lot more time to play, a lot more freedom to, quote, waste the paper. The one thing I noticed that probably doesn't do, which we're going to try it, I don't think you can clean off the Amazon paper, but we'll try it out here. I probably definitely should have considered wearing gloves. This is a mess. All right. Okay, so this is the alcohol, and supposedly this will wash off the paper. So let's try it on the Yupo first. So let's see how this does. Nope. So, and I'm sure maybe if I worked at that one, let's see. I'd have to add some more. So I wanted to show this because I think it's fair that people have brought it up and have said, like, that's one of the features of the Yupo, and that's totally fair. And I think if that's something that's important to you because you do that a lot, then by all means, then, I mean, that's your choice. I won't be buying any more Yupo paper because I don't do that. I like to have fun. I like to see what the alcohol inks do, and then I like to use it on a card project. So I've never wiped off my Yupo, and I've never felt a reason to, although if you're paying $1 a sheet, that's probably a good feature that it does that. So, okay, that's the review on alternative Yupo alcohol inks and alcohol solution.
I'm hoping that this video was useful to you in our efforts to try to save money where we can because, like you've always heard me say, I really do enjoy supporting the craft community with things like stamps and ink and fun stuff like that that I can only get through the crafting community. So let me know if this was helpful and what you think is your best deal that you have discovered. Please share it with us. I love that aspect of these videos as well because I learned so much from all of you. I'll link what was used in the video below in the description so you can check it out if you're interested. Let me know if you have any questions at all and if there's something that you would like me to review in the future, that I can put that on my list. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.